Sustainable diet, reading the labels. What will you learn? This lesson focuses on the information you should pay attention to when you shop for food and construct your meals. After this lesson, you will be able to identify information on food labels that is important to you, make informed choices when shopping for food that is good for your health and the planet, construct nutritious and well-balanced meals. Let's watch the video reading the label.
In a world where most of us live far from the farm and food travels long distances to get to our kitchen, the information we receive through food labels has become ever so important. In most countries, displaying information about food is nowadays mandatory. Requirements may vary according to local laws and regulations, but some minimum standards may include a list of ingredients, nutritional value and serving size, weight and volume, date of production and expiration, country of origin, name and address of manufacturer. So, as a bare minimum, food labels tell us what it is that we eat and whether it is safe for consumption. But in this day and age, the bare minimum is not enough. Many of us want to know that our food was produced and transported in ways that are not harmful to the planet or other people. In terms of health and personal benefit, we want food that fits us individually, both our bodies and our minds. So labels have had to evolve and provide for those new needs. As a result, today a lot of important data is included on the packaging.
Reading a label can be very overwhelming. Manufacturers need to put a lot of information on a label. You might be out there shopping in a hurry, and trying to get through all these labels in a short time could be a challenge.
Meet Zelda Wilson. Originally from South Africa, she has been working in the field of nutrition for the past 30 years.
How do you choose something without compromising your healthy diet? So I grabbed 3 possibilities for a savory snack this morning on my way into work, and perhaps it'll help you make a good decision. So firstly, always remember that ingredients are listed in terms of their weight in a product. So the first product listed on the ingredient list is what there is most of. So this one has already got something that says eat well, it's popped, so I'm thinking it's not fried, and it's got the calories on the front of pack. And then this one looks like a normal packet, and this looks like an interesting one that already says 55% less on the pack. So you're thinking, which one do I quickly grab? And I had a quick look. This one has the lowest calories, this one second, and that one third. But secondly, I might have something else like salt content that's really important to me when I think of a savory snack. And once again, this one was the one with the lowest salt content as well. If your country has the front of pack, that's very handy with a whole meal, where you have the traffic light system, which are in some countries, where they actually give you green, amber and red for the different ingredients like fat, saturated fat, sugar, energy is front on pack.
Countries have adopted different systems to aid consumers to make a smart choice. The Nutri-Score system used in France, Belgium, and Spain, for example, uses letters from A to E, where A is for the healthiest option. After consulting the label, Zelda is ready to make her choice.
At a glance, I've chosen these 2 lasagnas, a veggie lasagna with spinach and ricotta, and a beef lasagna. And in this case, the veggie lasagna is coming out tops with 2/3 of the calories, half the fat, and half the salt than our beef equivalent. So depending what you're eating at this stage and what you've had for the rest of the day, you might want to choose this option over this option.
Most countries have endorsed food-based dietary guidelines. They can have different shapes, such as a pyramid or a plate.
In general, they agree, though, that about 50% of your plate should be fruit and vegetables. A portion of it should be proteins, and this can be from animal or from plant sources, preferably a variety.
Another good source of protein and important nutrient is also dairy.
And then carbohydrate-rich foods make a portion of that as well. And when you choose oils, make sure that they are healthy, unsaturated oils. Things to limit in a healthy diet would be saturated fats and also sugars.
When you look at your diets and the way of eating, it is absolutely important that includes all these food groups in some way. we should never cut out a whole group if we want a balanced meal.
If you are cutting out a specific group, for example, you're following a vegan diet, make sure what you're missing and find another way to get those nutrients into your diet.
And don't forget that a healthy diet is a varied diet. This means you should not only eat kale or carrots, or rely solely on meat as a protein source. Lastly, it is important to stay hydrated and active in your daily life.
Labels are very full and there's a lot of information in them. So I think for us to make sense out of it, choose whatever is most important for you at this stage of your life and look for that and study that. Study it on the products that you buy regularly and then on the individual products that you buy occasionally. So if you have yourself or your child serious allergies, of course that's the most important thing you look for in a label. If you suffer from high blood pressure, perhaps salt is the most important thing that you'll look at. If you're going for a healthy diet, fiber content.
Besides useful health information, food labels may tell the story of who, where, and how exactly produced our food. This helps us judge the impact of our food choices on the climate, on forests, oceans, and the wildlife, as well as on farmers and communities.
Often a product might have a bad name, but there are different sources of this product and sustainable and not sustainable sources. And make sure you understand it, and then your label will also help you make choices that are in line with your value system.
As consumers, you yield a great deal of power, generally known as purchasing power, and can choose fruits, for example bananas, that meet standards for fair trade and rainforest preservation, over those that give no information on the way they were produced. You will enjoy your food even more, knowing you have made the right choice.
I would say if I have to give a few top tips, it would be know the labels of the products you buy regularly. Often buy products with no labels, that don't require labels, that haven't traveled far, so fresh local produce. Know what you're focusing on. Even though you have everything fresh and local, you might want some backups in your store cupboard or in your freezer, and you can find very healthy options like that as well. You might also want to make sure some of the other things that appear on labels are familiar to you. So for example, if something says source of, or light, or less, what does that mean? There are actually guidelines around when manufacturers can say that. I believe there's no such thing as a good food or a bad food. There's a good diet or a bad diet. And eating something once is not going to make a difference. Making it a habit is what makes the difference, good or bad.
Fact sheet. Reading the label. What to look out for. Lesson 1. Making sense of labels. What do you think? Let's drag and link the types of food information to its main purpose. Information on origin ensures tractability. Information on nutritional value. It helps achieve personal nutrition goals. Information on portion size definitely helps overeating. What's in the nutrition table? Do you know what information you can find in the nutrition table and how to make sense of it? Let's look at the example below and try to guess what product is it taken from based on the data in the table. The nutritional data is organized in 3 categories according to its function and usefulness for consumers. So I'm not going to give you the answer, but let's have a look. So we can see the nutritional information with all of the information to the left of it, energy, fat, of which is saturated, carbohydrates, of which is sugar, fiber, protein and salt. And then we can see the weight per 100 grams. So what nutritional information there is per 100 grams per portion, so that's 25 grams equals 4 squares, and the percentage of recommended adult daily intake. Now we know that the answer is chocolate, so we look at how many grams there are per 100 grams, nutritional information so that we can compare different products, and then per portion so that we know how much we eat. And then the percentage of recommended adult daily intake is so that we know how much it contributes to our daily needs. How much is too much? Most consumers are concerned with a few essential nutritional values such as fat, sugar and salt. But to decipher if the amount on the label is low or high, it is important to keep in mind some top and bottom values for essential nutrients. The table below sums up high or low values for fat, sugar and salt. If you are concerned with your blood pressure, for example, you should aim to consume food that is low in salt. For example, products with less than 0.3 grams per 100 grams. Another important nutrient you should keep an eye on is fiber. An adult should consume between 18 to 30 grams of fiber per day. To calculate fiber intake, you need to look at portion values and add up all portions of your meals throughout the day. Foods rich in fiber include whole grain bread and cereals, berries, broccoli, carrots, sweet corn, nuts, seeds, and potatoes with skins. Nowadays, you can find online a wealth of information on food products and the nutrients they contain. Be curious, get informed, stay healthy.